Good Thursday morning. It's 5:30. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thank you so much for waking up and starting your day with us. And good morning to Miller, who has the latest on these warm temps we're having right now.
Yeah, it's a day you want to get outside and conquer the day. It's going to be gorgeous out there. Did you have a chance to get outside yesterday?
I did, and it did not turn into what I imagined.
Uh-oh. What's the story? What happened?
I wanted to play in the backyard with my daughter and the dog, and then we get out there and my daughter's like, pull me around in the wagon. And so I'm pulling around the wagon. She's like, I need my stuffed animal. So then I go get the stuffed animal, come back out. I need a blankie. And so then I go get the blankie, come back out, and she's like, pull me around. And she lays down and covers herself and closes her eyes. And I'm like, oh, why are we outside right now? And then the dog was running around and tried to escape. And yeah, I'm like, all right, everybody inside. So,
always fun at Victoria's house, I'll tell you.
gosh, and then I told my daughter, I'm like, you and Annie are a handful. She's like, no, I'm not a handful. Annie is. So it's nothing to do with her.
That's so cool. Well, you know what? I'll give you another opportunity today in the next couple of days. How's that sound? Folks,
right,
as we're waking up this morning, looking across Billings, it's another nice start out there with temperatures above average. We should be low mid-20s. Not there right now. At the airport, we're at 30. Feels like 21s. Winds out of the southwest at about 10. So take a look around the area. Hardin at 25. We've got some cloud cover down at Powell right now. Say hello to my friend Linda in Gardner, where you're around 20 with some cloud cover. Big temper at 32, and over in the Crow Agency, we're sitting at about 24 with some cloud cover. Highs today in the 50s. We're also seeing some 60s, but we still have some 40s like Coal Creek, Clark, even Gardner, not getting out of the 40s today, but we're going to enjoy mainly sunny skies, a little pulse of energy coming through, kicking up some clouds, but just a really nice day on tap here as we take a look at the Billings Day Planner. Another day to get outside, enjoy the day, conquer the day. It's going to be gorgeous.
Another day to pull your kid around the yard in a wagon covered in a blanket while she takes a nap.
Enjoy, Victoria.
I will. I'll try to come up with another plan today.
Okay.
I'll get to news. Thanks, Miller. We begin with the latest on the pandemic this morning. The variant of COVID-19 first found in the United Kingdom has officially made its way to Montana. 3 people in Gallatin County tested positive for the new strain, but they have all recovered. The variant first hit the U.S. in December, and Montana is the 46th state to report it. Experts believe it spreads easier and faster than regular COVID-19. Evidence suggests the vaccine offers protection against this variant. In court news, the man who chased down, shot and killed his ex-girlfriend ambush style in front of their 6-year-old daughter now admits he's guilty. 27-year-old Taylor Plainbull appeared by video in federal court on Wednesday morning. He entered a change of plea to charges of second-degree murder and use of a firearm during a crime of violence. Lenita Goes Ahead was killed on October 24th while she was driving their daughter to a birthday party in Billings. While traveling from Pryor, Plainbull spotted Lenita driving with her boyfriend on Blue Creek Road. Driving a stolen truck, Plainbull chased after Lenita's car until it got stuck in a ditch. Plainbull says he shot out the car's passenger window, and when he hit Lenita's boyfriend with the gun, it discharged, striking Lenita in the chin, and the bullet continued to her heart. Plainbull took their daughter and called 911, claiming the shooting was an accident. A BOLO alert was issued, and Plainbull was taken into custody 3 days later at a Billings hotel following a standoff with law enforcement. His sentencing is set for July 23rd. He could spend life in prison. In national news, Capitol Hill is under heightened security this morning due to threats from domestic extremists. Law enforcement agencies believe mass protests are planned, spurred on by QAnon conspiracy theorists who believe today is the real inauguration day and Donald Trump will be restored to the presidency. House members are taking no chances. They decided not to be in session for the rest of the week as a precaution. The Senate will be in session today to debate the COVID-19 relief bill. The new relief package remains split along party lines. Democrats want to use the budget reconciliation process to get the legislation passed. It's a set of rules that limit the amount of time allowed for debate to 20 hours. A Republican senator suggested he might ask for the 600-plus page bill to be read in chambers, which would add another 10 hours to the process. In an effort to make the proposed legislation more bipartisan, Democrats have agreed to tighten limits on stimulus payments. In the past, the cutoff to be eligible for a check was a $100,000 salary. Under the new agreement, people who make $80,000 or more won't get a check at all. People making $75,000 or less would still be eligible for the full stimulus payment. The Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy estimates 17 million fewer Americans would get a check under the new agreement. A sweeping policing reform bill may face GOP challenges in the Senate. Democrats pushed it through the House late last night amid the threats of violence against the Capitol. The bill is named in honor of George Floyd and would include a ban on chokeholds. In just a few hours, Interior Secretary nominee Deb Haaland is expected to be recommended to the full Senate. The Committee on Energy and Natural Resources will vote this morning on whether or not to advance her nomination. Montana Senator Steve Daines and Wyoming Senator John Barrasso are both on the committee and have both said they will vote against Haaland. If she advances, her confirmation is likely. Yesterday, Alaska Republican Susan Collins said she would vote to confirm Haaland. The issues Haaland will tackle as Interior Secretary are of great importance to Western states. President Joe Biden has already made a commitment to green energy, threatening the livelihood of coal miners and oil and gas workers. As reporter Joe St. George shows us, some parts of the country fear economic extinction if these current restrictions continue.
Life out west can sometimes feel remote, but at the same time, uniquely beautiful.
And it's just a wonderful place to live.
Reverend David Wilson moved to Carlsbad, New Mexico over 20 years ago. From the sky, the town may look simple, but access to nearby national parks makes it anything but.
We have a sacred obligation to care for the earth.
But for the pastor, there is one view he cannot stand: the constant drilling and fracking on federal lands, not to mention the nearly daily afternoon flares.
You go on to Google Maps and look at a satellite image of this area, and you will see just a patchwork of oil sites.
But Pastor Wilson did receive, in his view, good news when President Biden took office. The president ordered a 60-day ban on new drilling permits on federal lands. Where does this impact? Well, take a look at this. All that red is federal land, mostly out west. Major oil and gas producing states like Montana, Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico are impacted in particular. For the pastor, it's a key first step.
The drive for money and profit and energy is at the cost of our environment.
Locals here, though, say there's an issue with this executive order. All of this federal land is ripe for development, and county leaders have been banking on the fact tax revenue will be coming in to fund local projects.
That created a significant amount of uncertainty.
Alan Davis is the local county manager. He says shutting down new oil and gas sites is like shutting off the local economy.
During the boom was the most active basin literally in the world.
How important is oil and gas to New Mexico and other states? Well, in New Mexico, drilling on federal lands contributed $707 million in 2020 to the state. That's 10% of the entire budget. Most of that money, Davis says, goes to schools.
That's the part of it that's concerning. Where else are those monies going to come from?
For the moment, Davis says his town is okay because President Biden's ban is temporary and it doesn't impact wells that are currently producing. But he is worried new permits will be limited going forward.
It would be a devastating effect.
All of this shows how complicated it is for President Biden to change environmental policy without impacting the economy in some form. Reverend Wilson says change is tough, but necessary.
It cannot be so wholly dependent on oil and gas.
In Carlsbad, New Mexico, I'm Joe St. George.
Thank you, Joe. The head of the organization overseeing the power grid for Texas has been fired. This after widespread power outages during a series of winter storms left millions of people in the state in the dark for days. Bill Magnus was the president and CEO of the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, or ERCOT. He was terminated from his contract by its board of directors after an emergency meeting last night. Now closer to home, the pandemic has devastated the hospitality industry across the country, but there's hope for a comeback here in Billings. Local hotel and restaurant owners say they've seen a boost from the string of high school basketball tournaments coming to town. They anticipate a good summer, but some feel Billings needs more events to draw people to town. Even if more visitors come here, it's going to take some time for a full economic recovery.
That 1 year delay from in 2020 will take us probably 3, possibly 4 years to get back to normal. It'll be 2022, 2023 before we're back to pre-COVID levels in the hotel or the lodging from that standpoint.
Hotel owners say it will help when business travel picks back up because the tourist season is only about 6 months long.